Hello there. It looks like you're having a little bit of difficulty with the countries of South America. Yeah? Well, don't fret. The fortunate part is that the countries of South America are a little bit easier to remember than the countries of other continents, mostly because there's fewer countries in South America to remember. So we're going to go through them one by one, and for this lesson we're only going to cover the countries themselves. In a separate lesson we will cover their capitals, and in a third lesson we will cover their flags. How does that sound? Excellent. Well, in that case, let us grab the map that we learned from. Isn't it cool and colorful? Now, it's a little bit difficult to read, but the different countries are located by the different colors on the map. So, we're going to start from top to bottom and go through each country, okay? And I'll bring the map closer to you so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to bring it a little bit closer, and we're going to talk about the northwestern region of the country. Northwestern region. So, let's start with the mouth of the continent. This country is very important and has a very interesting and rich history. This is Colombia. Colombia. This is where it enters. This is where Central America enters through, is Colombia. Colombia. Colombia is located between this purple country, Venezuela, and this orange country, Ecuador. They used to be one big country, but then they broke up into smaller territories. Underneath Ecuador, we have Peru, I believe. Yes, Peru. This is the land of Cusco, Cusco's kingdom, the kingdom of Cusco. This is where you find a lot of llamas, and also Machu Picchu. Very interesting country. I love it. Now, next to Peru, underneath Colombia, and beneath Venezuela, we have this very, very, very big country. This country is not Hispanic, but it is Latino, but it is not Hispanic. This country is Brazil. They speak Portuguese in Brazil. The rest of the country speaks Spanish in different accents. The Argentinians sound more Italian, the Colombians sound more like Sean Connery, so I guess like Welsh. But to me it sounds kind of Scottish, but maybe Welsh. I've never really heard an authentic Welsh accent. They talk like this. Argentinians talk like this with the Spanish. And that's about the only accents that really jump out to me. But Brazil speaks Portuguese. Eu falo português. I think I said it correctly because I'm a teacher. Now, next to Brazil, we have the heart of the continent, which is Bolivia. Bolivia is located in the center of all of South America. It's kind of like its heart. Now, underneath Bolivia, we have Paraguay. Paraguay is located beneath Brazil and beneath Bolivia. Paraguay. And underneath Paraguay and Bolivia a little bit, and underneath, well, I guess, yeah, next to Brazil, I suppose, is Argentina. Argentina has a very beautiful flag. And Argentina, back in the early 1900s all the way up to the 1950s, was seen as the pinnacle of industry. Many Europeans flocked to Argentina to just see their architectural developments. It was at the cutting edge of industry and of society. But then something happened with their economy, which was attributed to persons. And now Argentina has been having some difficulties. But Argentina's flag is gorgeous, its history is gorgeous, and all of the land itself is stunning. And the same can be said for all of South America. Literally the same case over and over and over again. And it's happening everywhere. Now, next to Argentina, we have Chile. Chile is this very slim piece of land that is basically all ocean coast. The entire country of Chile is like a big, big beach. Chile, right here. And now, oh, and also Cape Horn. this used to be the way that boats would travel through when they were transporting goods or having to sail from one part of the eastern side, the Atlantic Ocean, in order to get to the Pacific Ocean, whether it was to reach California or to reach any of these western countries. They would have to undergo a very perilous journey around Cape Horn. And this area right here is pretty much dead man's land. This is where most ships would crash and not make it, basically. In fact, the trees in this southern part here, the wind gusts are so strong that the trees grow sideways in the direction of the wind gusts. And interestingly enough, to get into some spirituality, I guess, there's an interesting, I would say, conspiracy, perhaps theory. It's kind of just a conjecture, but there is a shape of a snake head underneath Cape Horn. It looks exactly like a snake head, and you could see its like body coiled around the earth, and its tail, I think, ends in the northern point of the world. Its head is located on the southern point, and people speculate that this might be the mythical or biblical or spiritual concept of the Leviathan, which is just a snake who is said to be sleeping dormant, or waiting dormant rather, underneath the oceans. I don't quite know how deep that goes, but it is interesting that there is a snake-like figure going around the world, and that there is kind of like a spiritual interpretation of a waiting snake underneath the water. Just an interesting point. Moving on, we also have here, which I guess is not yet last, but certainly not least. None of these final countries are least. This one is Uruguay. Uruguay is known for its sheep, and it also has a lot of beach land too. And now, going all the way back up, above Brazil and next to Venezuela, we have Guyana. Guyana is right here, and it's known for its black Cayman alligators. The black Cayman alligators inhabit Guyana. In fact, hippos also inhabit Colombia, but that was because of Pablo's fault. Pablo kind of screwed over Colombia a little bit when it came to the hippos. That's insane. And then we have this final country, but certainly not least, Suriname. Suriname has the squirrel monkeys. So yes. To recap, just a quick little run through before we get to our little memory test. We have Colombia at the very top, the mouth of the country, next to or in between, next to Colombia, or rather that Colombia is in between Venezuela and Ecuador. Beneath Ecuador, we have Peru, the land of Cusco, Cusco's land, Cusco's kingdom, the land of Machu Picchu and llamas. And then next to Venezuela, we have Guyana, very good. Next to Guyana is Suriname, very good. Underneath Guyana and Suriname, we have Brazil, very good. Underneath Brazil, we have the heart of the continent, which is Bolivia, very good. See, there's not that many countries to remember, and they all have a very strong relationship with one another and the country. There's a lot of very rich personalities or rich cultures there. Now, next to Bolivia, we have Paraguay, very nice. And then kind of like across from Paraguay, we have, yes, across. It kind of ends in the same way. Paraguay, Uruguay, very good. It's a cross. It's underneath Bolivia, or rather Brazil, but it's a cross right here. And now below Paraguay, next to Uruguay, and underneath Bolivia, Argentina, very good. And this long beach of a country, it's right next to Argentina. Very good. It's Chile. So Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Chile, Peru, Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, Paraguay, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile. Very good. Did I miss anything? No, I think that's about it. So, let us begin our memory test, our memory quiz. Okay, so now we're going to try to test your memory using the blank map and see if you can point out each South American country. Okay? Here is the word bank in case you forget some of the countries. You can cross them off if you'd like, or even a pen if you'd like, just to kind of assist you. But remember, when the test does come up, the real test, not just a little memory exercise, there won't be a word bank for you to cross off. So we're going to have to try to keep these names fresh in our head, okay? Okay, excellent. Let's start with the mouth of the continent. What country is this one? Colombia, very good. And next to Colombia, not towards the south, but towards the north. What is the country next to Colombia? Right over here at the very tippity top of the continent. Venezuela, very good. And next to Venezuela is, they're known for their caiman alligators. Guyana, very good. And next to Guyana we have Suriname, very good. Now we're going to go down here. This little line here is just the Amazonian River. So never mind this little line. It's this big, big, big country. Big country. Speaks Fala le Português. What big country in Latin America speaks Portuguese so they're not Hispanic? That's right. This big country is Brazil. Now, underneath Colombia to the other side, what other country neighbors Colombia? To its right. Ecuador. Very good. And underneath Ecuador, we're going to get, this is the land of llamas and Machu Picchu. Very good. Peru. And the heart of the continent, the heart of South America. Very good. Bolivia. And next to Bolivia, we have, beneath Bolivia and Brazil, and above this other nameless country, what country do we have here? Paraguay. Very good. And kind of like across from Paraguay, ends in the same way. What name do we have? Uruguay. Very good. You're doing excellent. You don't even need to use this word bank, but I will cross them off at the end. And underneath Paraguay and Bolivia, what is this big country's name? This long and big country's name. They speak Spanish in a very Italian way. Very good. This big country is Argentina. Argentina. This was a glorious country, much like Venezuela as well. In fact, much like all of these countries back in the 1900s, the entirety of South America was honestly the pinnacle of beauty until a couple of things happened. Now, next to Argentina, this very long beach-like country, what long beach-like country neighbors Argentina and is below Peru? Very good. This is Chile. Chile. So, to recap, we have Colombia. I'm going to cross that one off on the list. Right there. And then we have, next to Colombia, to its left is Venezuela. So I'm just going to cross that one off. And then to the other right of Colombia, we have Ecuador. So we're just going to cross Ecuador off. And then underneath Ecuador, we have, right, Peru. So I'm going to cross Peru off. And then next to Peru, we have, very good, Brazil. Now, going upwards, next to, we already covered Venezuela. Next to Venezuela, we have, above Brazil, Guyana. And next to Guyana, we have Suriname. Very good. And did we cover Peru? Yes, we covered Peru. The heart of the continent. Very good. Bolivia. Okay. And then next to Bolivia, we have Paraguay. Very good. And then underneath Paraguay, we have Argentina. Very good. And then to the left of Argentina, below Brazil. Brazil. Very good. We have Uruguay. And then next to Argentina, the coastal country. Chile. Very good. Okay. Well, you did excellent on your recap. I have full confidence that you'll pass this test with flying colors. Now, do you have any questions for me by chance? Okay, no, of course. The capitals test will be held next week. We can go over that lesson tomorrow if you'd like, especially since the test is also going to be tomorrow. So by after the class, you'll have to learn the capitals anyways. And then the flags test will also be next week, so we can cover the flag section the day after tomorrow. And that way you're fully prepared with the knowledge of what South America is. Okay, good. Any further questions? Yes, we're going to be doing global history, or global geography rather. Not global history, global geography. So we're going to recap South America right now. We recapped Europe last week. Next week we're going to recap, once our South America lesson is over, we're going to recap Asian history, or Asian geography. That's going to be very difficult. That's the biggest continent in the world. Very difficult. And then after Asian geography, we're going to cover African geography. And then, honestly, the easiest continent to capture is Oceania. That one has the fewest countries in it, or the continent with the fewest countries. Although Antarctica is also considered a continent, so Antarctica is the one with the fewest countries, and then Oceania is the next one, and then South America is the next one, and then North America, I think, is the next one with the least countries, and then Africa, or no, maybe Europe. Which one has more countries, Europe or Africa? I think Europe has the most countries, second to Asia, so then it would be Africa, then Europe, then Asia. Yeah. Any further questions? Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I'll see you tomorrow, and study up.